at inception, the department in question complies with all these bullet points, right? I would have made sure that the department avails budget for which they are going to be servicing these ad hoc services. I would have made sure that there is a period for which those services, right, are gonna be running. But because this instruction was not complied with, right, it wouldn't be fair of me to say I knew, I did not know. I only became aware when there were these complaints. Whilst on this instruction, I want to say to the Commission, this instruction does not delegate me with any power, duty, or responsibility to deal with any department within the city of Tshwane that which is found to be acting contrary to what this instruction is saying. This explanation goes back to the issue of the instruction that was given to me by River Space, cancel all ad hoc services. Since this directive does not delegate me with powers, duties, and responsibility to intervene and address the issue of non-compliance by departments, there is no way I would have cancelled something that was not ordered and or instructed by me. In actual fact, what I'm trying to say to the Commission is that when ad hoc services are requested, it is very critical. For how long is the department requesting this? Let's say they say 6 months, right? At what cost we would be having a quotation, which quotation would have been approved by the department because the department is responsible to pay for those ad hoc services. From my office, part of the responsibility, when everything has been done subject to this directive, from my office is to monitor the rendering of services, the period, the budget, and all of that. And things normally do not fall out of hands, because it reaches a point where we are able to say, department, you said you're requesting these services for 3 months. This is the last month, right?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did I hear part of this response to say that you could not cancel because the deployments were not done properly? Or did I mishear you? That is cancel, not cancel, because the deployments were improper. Did I hear you say that?
Yes, Commissioner, you're saying it. Maybe if I'm allowed to proceed, because I've already...
I just want to hear, just on this one statement, did you say that or not?
I said it, Commissioner.
You said it?
Yes.
Would the impropriety not actually be the very reason on which you would cancel? something went wrong here. This was an improper deployment, so let's kill it now, let's cancel. Would that not be the logical thing to do, or not?
It would be logical if we were responsible, right, for the deployment of this. Otherwise, I mean, actually, in fact, instead of Commissioner Spies instructing me to cancel this, he should have gone through this and direct.
Maybe let me ask the question differently. Had everything been done properly, would it have been within your remit to cancel?
If everything
had been done properly, but now there was a need to cancel, would it have been within your remit to cancel? Would it?
If everything was done,
would you have had the power to cancel? If the need to cancel arose,
I would have advised the department responsible, right, to cancel, because if everything was done properly, right, it wouldn't have reached a point where there is actually an issue whether they must be cancelled or not. But in this instance, right,
let me now, according to you, everything had been done improperly. Why not advise the department concerned to cancel exactly because everything had been done improperly? If you could advise when everything had been done properly, why not also advise if something had been done improperly? I want to understand your reasoning.
Okay. By the way, I made a mention of the fact that at the point when Ms. Ribos was giving me this instruction, right, this matter was receiving attention at a higher level. And the level at which Mr. Spies was sitting, right? So I looked at, my apologies, I looked at his approach and I realized, I convinced myself, I'm still convinced, he wanted to throw me under the bus. I'm saying this because—
By saying cancel.
Because—
Why would you get under the bus if someone says—
No, he wanted—
Just a minute. If according to you,
yes,
there was something wrong, why would it take you under the bus if you simply cancelled? Aren't you actually assisting your employer, the city, if you cancel something that was done improperly?
In the context of his instruction, he said, cancel all ad hoc services, right? Hence, in my earlier submission before the commission, right, before even going into the system and confirming and all of that, I said, right, it wouldn't have been possible to cancel all of them because not all of them were having the same problem.
Did you cancel any? Did you cancel any then?
At that point in time, no, I did not.
Weren't some, even according to what you've just said, weren't some done improperly?
Commissioner, let me say this.
And just answer the question directly. Were some not done improperly according to you?
I'm not aware of some that were not done properly.
You've just said not all of them had been done improperly.
Yes.
Implicit in that is that some had been done improperly. That's how I understand what you are saying.
No, maybe
now, if you say that, the implication being that there was nothing the matter with some. So my question is, why not cancel those that you had no problem with, or those that you are not saying there was any impropriety with regard to them? Why not cancel those?
The instruction, Commissioner, was cancel all. And I knew it was not all of them, it was Kubis. And this Kubis, I could not have it cancelled because it was not instructed by me to deploy. In actual fact, let me put the record straight. Commissioner, this instruction was
It was exactly because of this reference to who the instruction came from that right at the beginning I asked you, would it have been within your power to cancel? Would it have been within your remit to cancel?
Yes. Hence I wanted...
So now, and I asked that exactly because you keep saying you are not the one who gave the instruction. You may not have given the instruction, but if you have the power to cancel, you could and should have cancelled, regardless of whether or not you gave the instruction. So the antecedent question is the question I asked earlier, which is, did you have the power to cancel?
I said...
Did you or did you not?
No, in this respect, I did not have the power to cancel.
You did not have the power to cancel?
Yes.
Okay, but anyway, Mr. Skakane, I think we've been derailed because I think what the focus of the testimony at this stage, if I'm not mistaken, is about the inception, yes, the start of all this, and not the tail end, which is the cancellation. Am I mistaken?
Chair,
I may be mistaken.
Okay.
But I thought we at this stage the focus. I'm not saying it was not to get here at some point,
yes,
but I thought at this stage it's about the inception or the beginning
of the. Yes, I suppose what we went through was the we got caught up in the issue of the discussion around the quantum and what was supposed to happen. But I'll let Mr. Director Malatji to continue. Safe to just pick on one issue, maybe one question, and then I'll let him continue. Director Malatji, as I understand it, we have to deal with the evidence as we see it. And it does not appear at any point in the evidence, and the one that you've supplemented with, that you either responded directly to Commissioner Spies or anyone about the termination of ad hoc service. Would I be correct, or there is?
He said he responded, but when I asked the director to take us to the documents showing his response, he said he does not have them here.
Yes. So, however, they do exist.
Come again.
I'm saying they do exist. You did.
Yes. To the first email, right? Fund transfer, please provide address where have been developed. My memory serves me well. It is not part of this bundle, all right? We did respond to this one.
Okay.
In terms of where ad hocs are deployed and whatever the case may be.
Okay,
Right.
that's fine. Please proceed with your statement. I'll ask my question later on. You had paragraph 5 of your statement. You were taking us through those annexes.
My statement, you said it's page 34. Oh, okay. All right. Yes, we were on paragraph 4. I think we've deliberated much on emails and communications detailing executive discussions. Number 2, email response to Nandule regarding his complaint that 13 requisitions were created without invoices. In this case, I made a follow-up with my team, and they responded to Director Nandule about these 13 requisitions, and they went as far as saying to me, in their view, they couldn't create these requisitions without attaching emails. As I wanted to know how this process works, they said they do not have a function that they use, that is used, right, to create purchase requisitions without emails. I mean, without invoices. But it is Director Nandule staff who have got that function on the subsystem. And they went further to say, when they inquired, later when they made a follow-up with Director Nandule's office, it came to light that those requisitions were eventually cancelled, right, on the system. But since I'm not familiar with the subsystem and what, you know, I relied much on what they are telling me, and I think they even said it is possible for the Commission to verify that, maybe by going back to Director Nandule's and find out exactly the status quo as it stands right now. But further than that, I personally found it very difficult to talk to this, but the long and short of it is that my department responded to Director Nandule with an email in which they were talking to their language. I'm not conversant with their administrative language in that space, and these things are, of course, functions that are, as we speak currently, performed within the environment of Director Nandule. So I'm not hands-on when it comes to that, but from my office, right, I must put it on record before the Commission that invoices are submitted for further handling, of which further handling would include creation of purchase requisitions and POs going forward. But let me stop at that. I think I've explained based on information.
Director Malatji, we know even from the 2024 invoices that at some point on the 26th of February 2025, those invoices came to you and you stamped and signed them. And that was around the time when there was a dispute about non-payment of Gubis's 2024 invoices. So we do know from the evidence before us that at least on the 26th of February 2025, those disputed invoices came to you and you signed them.
Commissioner, if they came to me and I signed them, right, I don't think I signed them to close the query, right? By then, I'm not sure if that query was already in place. By the way, the Commissioner must please understand that part of my responsibility, right, is to make sure that as and when invoices are submitted, right, I do what I'm supposed to do, and I process them further to be handled at a later stage. So if those specific invoices, right, were brought to my office, right, and I've signed them, right, I want it to be on record, right. I did not sign them because I was closing any query, right. I was not aware, right, that there was these invoices that the Director Nandile has got an issue with.
Are you saying you just signed without verifying whether these services were properly procured with this explanation?
No, I'm not saying that, Commissioner. Every invoice that gets submitted to my office, right, we verify. And part of verification includes we want to make sure that sites allocated, sites for which the invoice is talking to, right, are sites that are allocated to the company, right? It's the risk mitigation process, because if I was just